students. Today's video is for the word sustain. Sustain, again, you pronounce it sustain. So ain, not ein or anything. Ain is how you pronounce it, like the English letter A. Sustain. In Spanish, translations for this is sustentar or sostener. And so there are two definitions. Both definitions are verbs. Definition one is to provide enough of what someone or something needs in order to live or exist, like giving, food, shelter, water, money, basic things that people need, giving that to somebody. And then definition two is to make something continue for some time without becoming less. So that means to continue something that's at a certain level, a un nivel, keep it at the same level so it doesn't go down, it stays at that same level. Word families for sustain, we have sustainable and unsustainable. So those are unsustainable is the opposite of sustainable. Something that is sustainable, able, you've probably seen that before. Able means it's able to, like se puede. So sustainable, se puede continue at the same level, definition two. Unsustainable means that's not possible. And we talk about this a lot with the environment because, for example, if you recycle, that helps to keep using the same resources again, and that's more sustainable than if we don't recycle. If we throw everything in the trash, then we have to go and dig in the ground, or go and get a mine or something, and use different industries that are bad for maybe putting carbon pollution in the air, bad for global warming, and all those things happen when we get new materials out of the earth. So that is less sustainable than recycling. If you're recycling, it's more sustainable because it can continue. Or like things about like with trees, when you cut trees, you have to plant other trees and don't cut all the trees at the same time. So we keep having more trees, and so then the number of trees that we have can continue. It won't become less. We won't lose, because unsustainable would be like over time we lose all of our trees, or the environment gets very polluted, so that we lose our clean air or something, and which is unsustainable. Sustainable would be we have a system where we can continue at the same level using our resources and without damaging the environment. So we use these words a lot to talk about the environment. Sustained as an adjective means like continued, something that continues for a long time. Sustaining is an adjective. Sustenance is a noun. That is usually a synonym for food, because it has to do with definition one, giving what food is something you need to live. So sustenance, you could talk about, I get sustenance from my food, and also it can have a kind of a figurative meaning also, with sort of like spiritual or emotional sustenance, and that means like getting what you need to continue to keep hope or to stay positive or things like that. Like definition one, sustenance is like what you get that continues, helps you keep going, kind of. And so you can say you get sustenance from something. I get, spiritual sustenance, maybe religious people could say, from going to church, let's say. Synonyms for sustain, your main word, are prolong or keep alive or going. An antonym for sustain is stop. And here is a sentence with the first definition of sustain related to what I'm saying about, let's see. Well, here it's not about the environment. It's about inequality in the world. So the top 1% controls 46% of the world's wealth and are saying still not enough. Look at all these other people are crammed into a small space and they have not enough resources compared to these people. So when there is scarcity is escasez, not enough of something. When there is scarcity, there are not enough resources to sustain civil needs and demands for food, products, and services. So we don't have enough resources to sustain demands for food, products, and services, because scarcity means there's not enough of something. So in this case, these people all over down here are experiencing scarcity. They don't have enough resources for their needs, because these people are taking so much that they don't leave enough for the other ones. That's what's happening in this cartoon here. Okay, and then definition two, to make something continue for some time. So here's an example with that. When students read every day, they sustain good reading habits that will allow them to improve their reading skills and increase their Lexile scores. So what does that mean? They sustain good reading habits means that their habit continues. They don't stop reading, and then if you stop reading, you start losing maybe some of the knowledge that you had. It's not as easy for you to read as it was if you go for a long time without reading. So that's what that's saying. You should sustain your good reading habits by as much as possible continuing to read a lot. And same thing with your English level, English speaking, English listening, English writing, and all that. If you continue with it, you'll continue, and you won't forget any of it. It will continue, and it'll even get better. Okay, so this is a sentence related to literature, to a book. This is a book called The House of Sand and Fog. I like this book. I recommend it. It's a interesting book. It takes place near here in a house near on the just south of San Francisco, and there's a house that two families are trying to basically both get this house, own this house. That's what happens in the story. And one of the families is an immigrant family from Iran, or Persia, they call it, also the country of Iran, which is where Mr. Birani comes from. And he is a person who had a lot of money and status in his country. He was rich, and so he comes to this country, and he's trying to prove to his family that he's still rich. And so, but he can't get one good job that would pay enough for him to have a lifestyle like he wants. And so what he does is he secretly works two jobs, and then he lies to his family and tells them he's doing other things. And actually, he's working two jobs so that he can sustain his family's status and expensive lifestyle, because that's very important to him to be have a rich person's lifestyle. So he's sustaining it. So that's definition 2, because making it continue at the same level that it was at before. Para hacer que continúe al mismo nivel de antes, from in his country. That's what he wants in that book. Okay, that should be it for the word sustain. Thank you very much for watching today. Have a great day.